Hi, this is Robert Lilligard from Be Our Guest PR, and today I'm going to discuss how you can get into the New York Times and other national media. Now, I live in the backwoods of Minnesota, and in spite of this, I have been in the New York Times several times over the last 5 years. So one of the most common questions I get is, how did you get into the New York Times? Now, first of all, I'm glad they're not asking, how did you get into the New York Times? Well, I don't like your tone. Fortunately, that's not what they ask me. They just ask me the straight question, so I give them a straight answer. Now, for my first piece for the Times, it followed this general principle that journalists trust other journalists. I, when researching my first story, ended up seeing in the local newspaper that there was a bar made out of ice on the shores of Lake Superior. I told you I don't live in Manhattan. I think that should be proof enough. Having heard about this in the local newspaper, I checked it out and thought it was interesting enough. So I called the editor at the New York Times, asked if they thought it was a good fit. They did, and so I wrote the story. Now, almost every piece for them has followed the same way. I will go to a new city like Thunder Bay, Canada, or St. Louis, Missouri. I will read their local newspapers. I will ask their local food reporters what's trending right now, what's in your city, and if they tell me and it's good enough for my editors, we write the story. So when getting yourself into major national media, you need to follow this principle. Journalists trust other journalists. Therefore, to go national, you need to be regional. To be regional, you need to be covered by local media. Now that means doing interesting things, talking to local reporters about them, and once in a while forwarding that story on to the next highest level up. In this way, you build a support structure that will position you to be in the New York Times and other national media organizations. Talk to you soon.